It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
Clarkson trying to get free from Booker. Takes a right-hand dribble lane. Hesitates. Tries to skip it. Oh, my. Got it through traffic. On an overhead two-hand bullet. Down low. Filipowski with an amazing catch and finish. Deontay in the front court. Right side Sexton. 4-3. No. Damn follow by John Collins. Soaring in from Hill Air Force Base and packing it home.
The Utah Jazz lose to the Phoenix Suns 120-112. No Kevin Durant, no Nurkic, no problem. Phoenix gets 31 points from Devin Booker. Not really surprised, PK. Maybe a little surprised that Filipowski and Collins rang up the numbers they rang up, but other than that, pretty much what you expected.
Oh, I have no expectations. So to me, it's all about what Filipowski did. They've got themselves a player there. I couldn't care less about anything else. It's nothing about the present. It's all about the future. And he's showing himself to be a player, and that's exciting.
Filipowski, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks in 23 minutes. So, made his presence felt.
Yeah.
The Jazz, they are playing the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night at the Delta Center. Next up, DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Tatum against Nance. Tatum switches to the left hand. Now tries the right. Push pass out is a bad one. Derek White catches off balance. Tough three is good. It's impossible to do.
Cunningham, nobody's guarding him. In it comes. Duran dunks it. Oh, my. Unbelievable. In 0.7 of a second, they tie the game at 121. The Pistons are walking off the court. Who called timeout?
Oh, no. The referee is saying that Coach Spo has called a timeout, and that's a technical foul as the Heat are out of timeouts.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is right.
Curry gets Doncic again. Screen by Draymond. Curry gets Lively again.
He wants a three.
Yes, he does. Backs up, shoots a deep three over Lively. It's good! It's good!
Highlights from around the NBA. Eric Spoelstra calling a timeout he didn't have. You don't see that every day. Pistons hit those free throws on the technical foul and beat the Heat 123-121. Miami, ripping defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, it was a great night in the NBA. The Detroit won and Portland won. That's what I'm talking about.
The downtrodden won and left the Jazz alone. Yes.
I mean, really, that's all that matters here.
That really is. That's what matters to the top of the league. Can go do what it does, but that doesn't really impact the Jazz one way or another.
We got to get Toronto.
Toronto seems serious about losing, don't they? Blown out by the Bucks, the shorthanded Bucks, 99-85. And Toronto drops to 2-10.
Yeah, I'm worried about them.
A real threat. Losers of 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Blazers blew out the Timberwolves 122-108. Win number 4 for Portland. They're winning a third of their games, and quite frankly, the Jazz can beat that.
I mean, you look at Toronto, they got some bad players. I'm nervous.
Who is so awful that you're frightened?
Abaje. My guy that I followed in college, Grady Dick, now his second year. See what he can do. Still only like 20 years old, so it's ridiculous to put any big-time expectations on him. They picked up Jacoby Walter in the draft at Baylor. Just a kid himself, 20 years old. Hopefully they play those guys a lot, like the Jazz are doing, to develop them for their sakes. Although I would like to... Isn't Barnes out? Didn't he have an injury? He was their best player, right?
I'm going to have to follow Toronto closer.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about them. Yeah, I know he had an injury. He's only played like 4 games. And he got hurt.
Knee injury.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to lose a bunch of games because he's their best player. He'll be obviously sitting out marketing.
Hawks beat the Celtics 117-116. Didn't see that coming, but Atlanta got 100 shots in the game. That is so many unbelievable shots in one
NBA game in November. What do you mean you didn't see that coming?
100 shots. A lot of shots.
Apparently you're impressed by 100 shots.
Celtics, 3 games behind the undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers in the East. And Klay Thompson, Warriors pay tribute to him as he returns to play Golden State. The Mavericks come to town. And Golden State gets the win 120-117. As Steph Curry puts together a good game, and the Warriors 9-2, tied for the best record in the West. Anthony Davis has been cleared to play after suffering the eye injury. Saw an ophthalmologist. Precautionary. He's ready to go against Memphis.
Well, that's good, because if he couldn't see one, then you'd have that eye trouble, right?
Exactly. Logically, I see what you did there.
Right, you got to be able to see it.
Rock solid logic.
If you can't see him, then you've got a serious issue there.
DJ PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
A lob inside to Dickinson, backing down, turns, shoots, got it! Big bucket with the left-hand hook for Big Hunter Dickinson.
Andrew Carr, top of the circle, dribbles over to his left, then comes back to his right, goes down deep, pump fake, goes up, and scores!
Yes,
and a foul!
Highlights from college hoops is number 1 ranked Kansas beats Michigan State 77-69, and Kentucky beats Duke 77-72. A little made-for-TV doubleheader with some big brand names and highly ranked teams. Mark Pope is Kentucky off to a 3-0 start. And the watch, what is Cooper Flagg doing? 26 points, 12 boards. He did have 2 late turnovers that helped Kentucky seal the deal and win 77-72.
Oh, worse than that. I got the Majerus ringing in my ear. He didn't block out on a missed free throw.
Aha!
That's 1,000 times worse.
Worse than the turnovers.
Yeah.
Utah 3-0. They blew out Queens from North Carolina 96-65. Gabe Madsen, 24 points in the second half.
Unstoppable.
Got any first-hand observations from that, baby?
Who are these guys? Madsen seems like he's been around forever. I don't know what they got. You know, a lot of new guys there. Obviously this is a scheduled win. They picked 16th in the conference, but the Sun Devils were picked 16th in football. What does it mean? I'm not sure. I don't think this is an NCAA tournament team. It would surprise me. But with all the newness and everything, let's see what they have. I mean, there's no buzz. I mean, the arena was so sparsely attended there with the game. And I know somebody who's on the other team. I know the family. That's why I went. And even they commented. The one aunt leans to me, man, is this the way it always is? I said, nah, it's the way it is recently. And they'll go to the game because they play BYU tonight. Well, I said, will it be that way tomorrow? No. Oh, no.
BYU will be totally different.
Yeah, the student section will be jammed. There won't be, I could count the students, literally count them all. So they got to get a buzz going. They certainly don't have it, whereas BYU does. But I'm not going to count them out because I don't have enough information given the players
newness of the roster.
Yeah. So I want to see. We'll be following it, obviously, as the weeks go on and get into conference play. I mean, the fact that they're playing teams that they should beat, good for them. I'm not going to criticize them because once they get to conference play, they don't need to worry about beefing up the schedule. The schedule will take care of itself.
Queens is going back-to-back after losing to Utah. They are at the Marriott Center tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN Plus to play the Cougars. Bethesda got blown out by Southern Utah, 107-54, and they're at Utah Tech tonight at 7 o'clock. They're going back-to-back. Utah State is taking on Westminster tonight, 7 o'clock. Coverage starts at 6:30 on The Zone.
Is this the Stu Morrill Classic?
The Stu Morrill Classic. Okay, one potentially competitive game. Weber State is at Nevada. Game tips off in Reno at 8 o'clock. That one you can watch on the Mountain West Network. Other than that, we got a bunch of blowouts. Maybe we'll have one there too. We'll see. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
I hate to say it, man. It's like Aaron Rodgers has completely sucked the air out of the building. And I think so many guys are deferring to who he is in their minds. And in their minds and in my mind, he is a first ballot Hall of Fame player. But, since he has come here over the last 2 years, every player on this team, I feel like, has deferred everything to him.
That is Boomer Esiason and his analysis of what has gone wrong as the Jets have dropped to 3-7 and lost 6 of their last 7 games. Inexplicably, they beat the Texans. But other than that, it's been a disaster. Nowhere near playoff consideration, struggling along at 3-7. Chicago Bears fired their offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. The team's struggling. Head coach Matt Eberflus's own status is in question. Waldron was hired less than 10 months ago to work with top pick Caleb Williams. It's not going well. Is he going to get on the Alex Smith train and just start getting... when Alex went to San Francisco, he had a new offensive coordinator every year. Is Caleb Williams going to end up with the same thing in Chicago? 10 months in, here comes the second OC.
I don't know. Has anybody succeeded with that? We always hear that it's a negative. Yeah. But how many did John Elway have, and how many did Brady seem to have? A few as they got coaching jobs and all. I don't know enough. Is that really the issue?
49ers gave their top corner, Diomedor Lenore, a 5-year, $92 million contract extension. Pile of money for him. And it's official, Dak Prescott is done for the year. The partial avulsion of his hamstring, it pulled part of the tendon away from the bone. That just sounds bad. So he's out for the year. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Honestly, I got like a ritual. Like when we lose, I ain't even getting a shower till early this morning. I just be mad. I just brush my teeth. But it's like I don't deserve soap. I don't deserve to do all that. I'm just focused on like trying to get back and trying to make sure that our players mentally understand and know that I let them down, that they didn't do it.
That is a heck of a quote right there from Fran Brown, who doesn't deserve soap. Hygiene out the window.
Well, when they lose, you literally can say he stinks.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
They don't lose that often. They're 6-3. 3-3 in conference. So
soap is for winners.
Soap is for winners. Coffee is for closers, and soap is for winners.
You gotta understand where you came from.
Yeah.
Mom had soap. She had everything for. In fact, she said, "Did you bathe today, David?" Yeah. But Brown was born and raised in Camden, New Jersey.
There it is.
And you don't even know if he got soap. So you take nothing for granted because every day is a struggle. And Camden is a low-income area. So Fran Brown has had to fight for everything he's got. And I wish him the best of success here. And he's going to tell it like it is, man. This guy he's only 42 years old, but he's been around. And he's had to scratch and claw. He's a success story. And they are 6-3, so that's like they're bad.
Syracuse has had some down times. There was a time they were really good, but that time's in the rearview mirror. So 6-3 is good work.
Right.
Brandon Rhodes suffered a lower leg injury, needs surgery. Kyle Whittingham says he's done for the year. That means Isaac Wilson and Luke Batari are the last two quarterbacks available to the University of Utah.
I hope that Isaac Wilson just goes out there and lights it up, man. I really do. I'm rooting hard for this youngster to go in there and just show everybody, hey, I'm good. I know people were down on me. I got benched. I got yo-yoed. You know, I found out 20 minutes before Oklahoma State that I was starting, which can't be good, but yet he played pretty good. Now that team turns out to be, speaking of stinking, so he's got 3 games here, and if they win 2, he's got 4, man. I just hope he just really, really kicks some big-time butt.
Goes out there and tears up. Colorado this week, good test, chance to beat a ranked team.
That would be so cool for
That'd
me.
be a sweet story if they pull that off.
I'm rooting hard.
He makes some big throws, and they have a happy plane flight home.
Extends plays with his legs, just like he did in Stillwater, only better, obviously, because you're going to need it. Because it's going to be hard to keep Colorado off the scoreboard because they've got a really, really good offense. It's legit. I mean, they really haven't beaten anybody of serious note by any stretch. But I don't care about that. I believe that Shedeur is really good, and obviously Hunter speaks for himself. So let's see what they can do.
BYU, perfect 9-0, climbing 3 spots in the College Football Playoff Committee's rankings. They move up from number 9 to number 6 and are projected as the 3rd seed because they're being projected as the conference champ right now. And PK, that was probably about the most any Cougar fan could have hoped for right there.
Yeah, but they're not going to beat Tennessee. They're going to beat Alabama. Shut the bleep up. And I'm not saying HE double hockey sticks either. It doesn't matter. They're not playing those teams. The ranking is based on who you played, not subjectively who you might play and would you win. And if that's the case, then just rank the same teams every year. Because at no point are we going to say in the next recent future, or recent past, in the immediate future, is Alabama going to lose to Utah or BYU on a projection, not an actual game. We're not talking about a game. We're talking about a projection.
Thank you, Alan.
Drives me nuts when I see those arguments. Then why have a freaking poll? Because you're always going to pick Tennessee to beat, except when they played, they didn't. But, the program's in a better spot now, and historically Tennessee's better. I get all that. But that's not what the rankings are about. It's the work that you've done, not the projection of who would beat whom if they played.
Who's beaten more ranked teams? Who has the worst losses? And BYU doesn't have a loss. So why should Tennessee be in front of them?
Oh, because they're better. They'd beat them.
Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Not a good look.
They darn well might beat them, but who cares? We'll probably most likely never know.
Doesn't look like right now they'd be seated to meet each other, but there's still 3 weeks to go, and the new results will dictate new opinions from the committee. Who might change their mind? There really wasn't a result that... Was there anything that happened on the field that should have moved BYU past Tennessee, or did the committee realize, we messed that up?
What do you mean that moved BYU past Tennessee? What are you talking about?
Because BYU was behind Tennessee, and now they moved in front of them. But it's not because Tennessee had a bad loss or BYU beat a ranked team. But
it's a rivalry game, and the rivalry is respected. So, yes, I think there has been.
The other teams they climbed past, they moved past Miami, and they moved past Georgia. Those teams both lost. University of Oklahoma gave Brett Venables a vote of confidence. Oklahoma's 5-5 and 1-5 in the SEC. Looks like they got a decent chance of losing the last 2 games and not being bowl eligible, and Oklahoma has much, much higher hopes than that. USC football program has been fined $50,000 and placed on 1-year probation because of violation of on- and off-field coaching activities. The NCAA found the USC exceeded the permissible number of accountable coaches by 6 during the 2022 and 23 seasons as they allowed analysts and graduate assistants to coach. That's now legal, but in those seasons, it wasn't.
Legal?
Yes.
Congress passed a law.
Congress passed a law, and you will be locked up.
Legal.
You're going to go in the Who's Gal at Palos Verdes.
Oh, stupid. Who cares?
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays, can be repaired for roughly $55 million. But the necessary repairs would not have the venue ready until the 2026 season. The Trop is slated to be demolished. They're going to build a new $1.3 billion stadium. This should be done by 2028. So the team and St. Petersburg city officials are expected to discuss their options in a meeting next week.
Yeah, I'm not an economist, but spending $55 million on something that you're going to tear down seems awfully stupid to me.
So move to a minor league ballpark or a spring training site in the area for the next 3 years.
Or just stop playing.
The Rays just go on hiatus, loan their players out. We have buys in Major League Baseball.
They tend to do that anyway.
As 29 teams go forward.
Yeah. Get them a retractable thing because there's a lot of afternoon rains over there at that time of year and all that stuff, and away we go.
Have Oakland and Tampa Bay playing have the Athletics and the Rays playing in minor league facilities, wherever Sacramento and wherever the Rays finish.
What big deal? The Dodgers played in the Coliseum and it was 200 feet down the left field line.
Yeah, they made it work until they got Dodger Stadium built.
Right.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Utah Hockey Club back in action tonight playing the Carolina Hurricanes, who are one of the better teams in the league, certainly in the top 5 or 6, maybe better than that. They play tonight at the Delta Center. Carolina, 11 wins, only 3 losses. Puck drop set for 7 o'clock. Hockey night in Utah with Adrian Denny starts at 6 o'clock right here on The Zone.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Bear does with rotations and lines to get more offense.
Talking about mixing up the number 1 line.
Because this team, and we've only been following it here for a short time.
15 games in.
Has really been super interesting because some nights the offense looks really good, and other nights the defense looks really good, and they haven't been able to put it together to a level of consistency, which is reflective of the record, obviously, which it normally does. So, in a sense, they're playing true to the results. They're not playing over their head or you don't hear under their head. Whatever what's the expression?
Play under your.
You've heard you're playing over their heads. You've heard that, but what's the
playing over your head?
The flip side of it.
Underperforming.
Yeah. So they really, in terms of you are who you are, this is really true. And if they can find a way to put it together, and they don't say both sides of the puck, huh? You know how they do both sides of the
sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ice, I guess.
They've got to play complementary hockey. That's what it comes down to.
But, yeah. So that's one of the things I'll be following. I was listening to Armstrong yesterday with the besties, and that's what he was talking about as I try to educate myself more. I'm not going to try to fool listeners like I'm some form of expert in hockey here. But I don't think, at least from a workable standpoint, it's that hard to get yourself up to speed to know what's going on.
Right.
The intricacies and then the league, that's another story. But what this team is doing, if you just pay a little bit of attention, I think you can get a good feel for what's going on, and then listen and read what they're saying and writing and all that stuff.
Yep. And it makes sense that they would try to find some different combinations, maybe find a little chemistry. The whole thing, the sum is greater than the whole of the parts and all that stuff.
Oh, we're going back to Ute basketball in the 90s.
Nah, I messed that up, but I always messed it up, so you know what I meant. And they don't have it. They got 41 goals and like 26th, 27th best in the league. They need more goals. Got to find it.
Well, for me, it was the other way because my parts were better than the sum.
Nice. All right, there you go. What is trending? Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. DJ and PK coming up this morning. Riley Jensen joins us at 8 o'clock. College football expert, mental performance coach. Brian Al, Colorado Buffaloes beat writer for Buff Zone and the Boulder Daily Camera at 9 o'clock. Get the lowdown on a team that is suddenly very interesting to both the Utes and the Cougars. The Utes' next opponent, and a team that right now BYU is on track to face in the Big 12 title game with 3 weeks to go. We'll talk with Brian Howell coming up at 9 o'clock. DJ and PK, the question of the day is next.